welcome back to the ACE Game Show. Tonight's theme is ACE Media. Let's meet our contestants. We have 13-year-old Brooke and 16-year-old Paige. Here are the rules for tonight's game. Rule number 1, whoever grabs the bottle first gets a chance to answer first. Rule number 2, you must grab the water bottle until I'm finished reading the entire answer. Rule number 3, if you get the answer wrong, your opponent gets a chance to steal. All right, question number 1. While developing your production, how did your production skill develop throughout this project?
Okay, so while developing this film, I first came across the challenge of picking a genre. It was really hard for me to know what I wanted to film about, and I just decided to research so I didn't fall behind. I started by researching genre conventions with the film Clueless, and I also researched credits that are usually in the romantic comedy film. I then made a storyboard once I had my idea of what I wanted it to be about with all the movements and angles, and that helped while I was filming. I then researched recent song elements as I knew that was something I really wanted to incorporate within my film, and I researched with different romantic comedy films. I then made a shots list, a complete shots list of every single shot I was going to use or thought about using, which also came in handy when I was filming and made the process move a lot smoother. I developed a screenplay, which helped my actors know a little bit of what the film was going to be about, and it helped just for me to put all of my voice recordings and all ideas together. I then started the sound search, which was really difficult for me because I thought that the sound was really important as it set the tone for the entire rest of the film, and I was able to do it using Upbeat, which generated me a playlist based on what I wanted, and I was then able to pick a song from there. I also had issues filming because not all of my actors could come on the same date, and I tried to do replacement actors, but it didn't work, so I had to end up refilming last minute, which was really stressful for me. I also had issues with the voiceover because I wanted the actors to sound a certain way, as I wanted the two girls to their personalities to be portrayed in different lights, which was really frustrating for me when I had to ask them to refilm because I didn't like the way it sounded, and I also had trouble editing it onto the film because I wanted, again, everything to sound a certain way.
That was a good answer, contestant number 2. Question number 2. How did you integrate technologies, software, hardware, and online into this project?
Okay, so some softwares I use while developing Three's Company is Blogger, Upbeat, iMovie, and Celtics. I use Blogger to blog my entire process throughout this project. We're doing updates, all my research, and everything was kept on Blogger. I use Upbeat, which is the website I use to find my song, and what you have to do is you type in like a description of what you want your film to be about, and then it gives you a whole AI generated, non-copyrighted music that it's possible for you to use. And so from there I was able to pick one. And it was also really hard for me to find a song that wasn't copyrighted because I wanted to use a lot of songs that were copyrighted. I use iMovie to edit, and I'm not really a strong editor, so this was a little bit difficult for me because I've edited for other projects in the past, but I wouldn't really say I was strong at it, so it was a little bit of a challenge for me. I then used Celtics to develop a screenplay, which is a website that I had never used before. I spent a lot of time trying to figure out the right format and way everything I wanted to be, just because I had been so unfamiliar with it. It took me a really long time, but I wanted everything to be so specific, and in the end, it all worked out. I also used an iPhone 15 Pro to film, but I didn't have access to a tripod or any stabilizer, so I tried to use my surroundings to stabilize and keep my hands just as still as possible.
While working on this project, I learned a lot. I learned about the process it takes to create a film opening, and honestly, it's a lot of work. I learned about developing storyboards, screenplays, shot lists, and all the trial and error it takes. I learned that not everything gets it done the way you want it to on the first time. I had to reshoot the male parts as I didn't like the way it came out the first time. I learned that editing is honestly a really hard skill to master, especially with the audio. Lining everything up is really hard, and I wish my idea was a little easier to edit. I'm not really a strong editor, so doing such a audio editing film wasn't the best idea. If I did this project again, I would get a head start on the filming and editing and do less planning and researching, as I think that's something that hurt me a lot. I kind of waited to the last minute to film and edit, and that's something I don't want to do again. For the next time, I can improve on my editing skills and would come up with a better idea. Right now, my idea is a little basic and uses the same shots, which fits the genre, but I could have challenged myself a little more in that area.